Block 3. Kilroy. Genially to all present. Ha. Then he walks up to the officer by the terrace of the Siete Mares. Buenos dias, senor. He gets no response, barely even a glance. Habla Inglesia? Usted? Officer. What is it you want? Kilroy. Where is Western Union or Wells Fargo? I gotta send a wire to some friends in the States. Officer. No hay Western Union, no hay Wells Fargo. Kilroy. That is very peculiar. I never struck a town yet that didn't have one or the other. I just got off a boat. Lousiest friggin' tub I ever shipped on. One continual hell it was, all the way up from Rio. And me sick, too. I picked up one of those tropical fevers. No sick bay on that tub, no doctor, no medicine or nothing. Not even one quinine pill. And I was burning up with Christ knows how much fever. I couldn't make him understand I was sick. I got a bad heart, too. I had to retire from the prize ring because of my heart. I was the light heavyweight champion of the West Coast. Won these gloves before my ticker went bad. Feel my chest. Go on. Feel it. Feel it. I've got a heart in my chest as big as the head of a baby. They stood me in front of a screen that makes you transparent, and that's what they seen inside me. A heart in my chest as big as the head of a baby. With something like that, you don't need the gypsy to tell you time is short, baby. Get ready to hitch on wings. The medics wouldn't okay me for no more fights. They said to give up liquor and smoking and sex. To give up sex. I used to believe a man couldn't live without sex, but he can, if he wants to. My real, true woman, my wife, she would have stuck with me. But it was all spoiled with her being scared, and me too, that a real, hard kiss would kill me. So one night while she was sleeping, I wrote her goodbye. He notices a lack of attention in the officer. He grins. No comprende the lingo? Officer. What is it you want? Kilroy. Excuse my ignorance, but what place is this? What is this country and what is the name of this town? I know it seems funny of me to ask such a question. Loco. But I was so glad to get off that rotten tub that I didn't ask nothing of no one except my pay. And I got shortchanged on that. I have trouble counting these pesos, or what's it you call them? He jerks out his wallet. All of this here. In the States, that pile of lettuce would make you a plutocrat. But I bet you this stuff don't add up to $50 American coin. Officer. Haha. Kilroy. Haha. Officer, making it sound like a death rattle. Ha 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 ha. He turns and starts into the cantina. Kilroy grabs his arm. Kilroy. Hey. Officer, what is it you want? Kilroy. What is the name of the country in this town? The officer thrusts his elbow in Kilroy's stomach and twists his arm loose with a Spanish curse. He kicks the swinging doors open and enters the cantina. Brass hats are the same everywhere. As soon as the officer goes, the street people come forward and crowd about Kilroy with their wheedling cries. Street people. Dolces, dolces, rotera. Loteria, loteria, pasteles, cafe con leche. Kilroy. No curry, no curry. The prostitute creeps up to him and grins. Rosita. Love? Love? Kilroy. What did you say? Rosita. Love. Kilroy. Sorry, I don't feature that. To audience. I have ideals. The gypsy appears on the roof of her establishment with Esmeralda, whom she secures by handcuffs to the iron railing. Gypsy. Stay there while I give the pitch. She then advances with a portable microphone. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nursey from offstage. You're on the air. Gypsy's loudspeaker. Are you perplexed by something? Are you tired and out and confused? Do you have a fever? Kilroy looks around for the source of the voice. Do you feel yourself to be spiritually unprepared for the age of exploding atoms? Do you distrust the newspapers? Are you suspicious of governments? Have you arrived at a point on the Camino Real where the walls converge, not in the distance, but right in front of your nose? Does further progress appear impossible to you? Are you afraid of anything at all? Afraid of your heartbeat? Or the eyes of strangers? Afraid of breathing? Afraid of not breathing? Do you wish that things could be straight and simple again as they were in your childhood? Would you like to go back to kindergarten? Rosita has crept up to Kilroy while he listens. She reaches out to him. At the same time, a pickpocket lifts his wallet. Kilroy, catching the whore's wrist. Keep your hands off me, you dirty old bag. No careputas. No loteria, no dolces, nada. So get away. Vamos. All of you, quit picking at me. He reaches in his pocket and jerks out a handful of small copper and silver coins, which he flings disgustedly down the street. The grotesque people scramble after it with their inhuman cries. Kilroy goes on a few steps, then stops short, feeling the back pocket of his dungarees. Then he lets out a startled cry. Robbed! My God, I've been robbed! The street people scatter to the walls. Which of you got my wallet? Which of you dirty... Shh! Ugh! They mumble with gestures of incomprehension. He marches back to the entrance of the hotel. Hey, officer, official. The officer finally lounges out of the hotel entrance and glances at Kilroy. Tiende? One of them's got my wallet. Picked it out of my pocket while the old whore was groping me. You comprendo? Officer, nobody robbed you. You don't have no pesos. Kilroy, huh? Officer, you're just dreaming that you have money. You don't ever have money. Nunca nada. He spits between his teeth. Loco. The officer crosses to the fountain. Kilroy stares at him, then bawls out. Kilroy, to the street people. We'll see what the American embassy has to say about this. I'll go to the American consul. Whichever of you rotten spivs lifted my wallet is going to jail. Calaboose. I hope I have made myself plain. If not, I will make myself plainer. There are scattered laughs among the crowd. He crosses to the fountain. He notices the body of the no longer survivor, kneels beside it, shakes it, turns it over, springs up and shouts, Hey, this guy's dead. There's the sound of the street cleaners' piping. They trundle their white barrel into the plaza from one of the downstage arches. The appearance of these men undergoes a progressive alteration through the play. When they first appear, they are almost like any such public servants in a tropical country. Their white jackets are dirtier than the musicians, and some of the stains are red. They have on white caps with black visors. They are continually exchanging sly jokes and giggling unpleasantly together. Lord Mulligan has come out upon the terrace, and as they pass him, they pause for a moment, point at him, snicker. He is extremely discomfited by this impertinence, touches his chest as if he felt a palpitation, and turns back inside. Kilroy yells to the advancing street cleaners. There's a dead man laying here. They giggle again. Briskly, they lift the body and stuff it into the barrel, then trundle off, looking back at Kilroy, giggling, whispering. They return under the downstage arch through which they entered. Kilroy, in a low, shocked voice, What is this place? What kind of a hassle have I got myself into? Loudspeaker. If anyone on the Camino is bewildered, come to Gypsy. A poco dinero will tickle the gypsy's palm and give her visions. Abdullah, giving Kilroy a card. If you got a question, ask my mama, the gypsy. Kilroy. Man, whenever you see those three brass balls on a street, you don't have to look a long ways for a gypsy. Now let me think. I am faced with 3 problems. 1, I'm hungry. 2, I'm lonely. 3, I'm in a place where I don't know what it is or how I got there. First action that's indicated is to cash in on something. Well, let's see. Honky-tonk music fades in at this point, and the Skid Row facade begins to light up for the evening. There is the gypsy's stall with its cabalistic devices, its sectional cranium and palm. Three luminous brass balls overhanging the entrance to the loan shark and his window filled with a vast assortment of hawked articles for sale. Trumpets, banjos, fur coats, tuxedos, a gown of scarlet sequins, loops of pearls and rhinestones. Dimly behind this display is a neon sign in three pastel colors, pink, green, and blue. It fades softly in and out and it says, "Magic tricks, jokes." There is also the advertisement of a Fleabag hotel or flophouse called Ritz Men Only. This sign is also pale neon or luminous paint, and only the entrance is on the street floor. The rooms are above the loan shark and gypsy stall. One of the windows of this upper story is practical. Figures appear in it sometimes, leaning out as if suffocating or to hawk and spit into the street below. This side of the street should have all the color and animation that are permitted by the resources of the production. There may be moments of dance-like action, a fight, a seduction, sale of narcotics, arrest, etc. Kilroy, to the audience from the apron. What have I got to cash in on? My golden gloves? Never. I'll say that once more, never. The silver-framed photo of my one true woman. Never. Repeat that. Never. What else have I got of a detachable and a negotiable nature? Oh, my ruby and emerald studded belt with the word champ on it. He whips it off his pants. This is not necessary to hold on my pants, but this is a precious reminder of the sweet used to be. Oh well. Sometimes a man has got to hawk his sweet used to be in order to finance his present situation. He enters the loan sharks. A drunken bum leans out the practical window of the Ritz Men Only and shouts. Bum. Oh, Jack of Diamonds, you robbed my pockets. You robbed my pockets of silver and gold. He jerks the window shade down. Gutman on the terrace. Block 4 on the Camino Real. Block 4. There is a phrase of light music as the Baron de Charlus, an elderly foppish sybarite in a light silk suit, a carnation in his lapel, crosses from the Siete Mares to the honky-tonk side of the street. On his trail is a wild-looking young man of startling beauty called Lobo. Charlus is aware of the follower, and during his conversation with a rat, he takes out a pocket mirror to inspect him while pretending to comb his hair and point his mustache. As Charlus approaches, the manager of the Fleabag puts up a vacancy sign and calls out, "A rat. Vacancy here. A bed at the Ritz Men Only. A little white ship to sail the dangerous night in." The Baron. "Ah, bonsoir, Mr. Rat." A rat. "Cruising?" The Baron. "No, just walking." A rat. "That's all you need to do." The Baron. "I sometimes find it suffices." "You have a vacancy, do you?" A rat. "For you?" The Baron. "And a possible guest. You know the requirements. An iron bed with no mattress and a considerable length of stout knotted rope?" "No. Chains this evening. Metal chains. I've been very bad. I have a lot to atone for." A rat. "Why don't you take these joy rides at the Siete Mares?" The Baron, with a mirror focused on Lobo. "They don't have ingreso libero at the Siete. Oh, I don't like places in the haute saison, the alta stagione. And if you go between the fashionable seasons, it's too hot or too damp or appallingly overrun by all the wrong sort of people who rap on the wall if canaries sing in your bed springs after midnight. I don't know why such people don't stay at home. Surely a Kodak, a Brownie, or even a Leica works just as well in Milwaukee or Sioux City as it does in these places they do on their whirlwind summer tours. And don't look now, but I think I'm being followed. A rat. Yep, you've made a pickup. The Baron. Attractive? A rat. That depends on who's driving the bicycle, Dad. The Baron. Ciao, caro. Expect me at 10. He crosses elegantly to the fountain. A rat. Vacancy here. A little white ship to sail the dangerous night in. The music changes. Kilroy backs out of the loan sharks, belt unsold, engaged in a violent dispute. The loan shark is haggling for his golden gloves. Charlus lingers, intrigued by the scene. Loan shark. I don't want no belt. I want the gloves. $8.50. Kilroy. No dice. Loan shark. 9. $9.50. Kilroy. No, 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 no. Loan shark. Yeah. Kilroy. I say nah. Loan shark. I say yeah. Kilroy. The nahs have it. Loan shark. Don't be a fool. What can you do with a pair of golden gloves? Kilroy. I can remember the battles I fought to win them. I can remember that I used to be champ. Fade in band music. March of the Gladiators. Ghostly cheers, etc. Loan shark. You can remember that you used to be champ? Kilroy. Yes, I used to be champ. The Baron. Used to be is the past tense, meaning useless. Kilroy. Not to me, mister. These are my gloves. These gloves are gold, and I fought a lot of hard fights to win them. I broke clean from the clinches. I never hit a low blow. The referee never told me to mix it up, and the fixtures never got to me. Loan shark. In other words, a sucker. Kilroy. Yep, I'm a sucker that won the golden gloves. Loan shark. Congratulations. My final offer is a piece of green paper with Alexander Hamilton's picture on it. Take it or leave it. Kilroy. I leave it for you to stuff it. I'd hustle my heart on this street. I'd peddle my heart's true blood before I'd leave my golden gloves hung up in a loan shark's window, between a rusted trombone and some poor lush's long-ago mildewed tuxedo. Loan shark. So you say. But I will see you later. The Baron. The name of the Camino is not unreal. The bum sticks his head out the window and shouts. Bum. Padam, padam, padam. The Baron, continuing the bum song, echoes the beat of my heart. Padam, padam, hello. He has crossed to Kilroy as he sings and extends his hand to him. Kilroy, uncertainly. Hey, maid, it's wonderful to see you. The Baron. Thanks, but why? Kilroy. A normal American in a clean white suit. The Baron. My suit is pale yellow. My nationality is French, and my normality has been often subject to question. Kilroy. I still say your suit is clean. The Baron. Thanks. That's more than I can say for you and your apparel. That's more than I can say for your apparel. Kilroy. Don't judge a book by the covers. I'd take a shower if I could locate the why. The Baron. What's the why? Kilroy. Sort of a Protestant church with a swimming pool in it. Sometimes it also has an employment bureau. It does good in the community. The Baron. Nothing in this community does much good. Kilroy. I'm getting the same impression. This place is confusing to me. I think it must be the after effects of fever. Nothing seems real. Could you give me the scoop? The Baron. Serious questions are referred to the gypsy. Once upon a time. Oh, once upon a time. I used to wonder. Now I simply wander. I stroll about the fountain and hope to be followed. Some people call it corruption. I call it simplification. Bum, very softly at the window. I wonder what's become of Sally, that old gal of mine. He lowers the blind. Kilroy. Well, anyhow. The Baron. Well, anyhow? Kilroy. How about the hot spots in this town? The Baron. Oh, the spot and the hot spots. Oh. There's the pink flamingo, the yellow pelican, the blue heron, and the prothonotary warbler. They call it the bird circuit. But I don't care for such places. They stand 3 deep at the bar and look at themselves in the mirror, and what they see is depressing. One sailor comes in, they faint. My own choice of resorts is the bucket of blood downstairs from the Ritz men only. How about a match? Kilroy. Where's your cigarette? The Baron, gently and sweetly. Oh, I don't smoke. I just wanted to see your eyes more clearly. Kilroy. Why? The Baron. The eyes are the windows of the soul, and yours are too gentle for someone who has as much as I have to atone for. He starts off. Au revoir. Kilroy. A very unusual type character. Casanova is on the steps leading to the arch, looking out at the desert beyond. Now he turns and descends a few steps, laughing with a note of tired incredulity. Kilroy crosses to him. Gee, it's wonderful to see you. A normal American, isn't it? There is a strangulated outcry from the arch under which the Baron has disappeared. Excuse me a minute. He rushes toward the source of the outcry. Jacques crosses to the bench before the fountain. Rhubarb is heard through the arch. Jacques shrugs warily as if it were just a noisy radio. Kilroy comes plummeting out backwards all the way to Jacques. I try to interfere, but what's the use? Jacques. No use at all. The street cleaners come through the arch with the Baron doubled up in their barrel. They pause and exchange sibilant whispers, pointing and snickering at Kilroy. Kilroy. Who are they pointing at? At me, Kilroy? The bum laughs from the window. A rat laughs from his shadowy doorway. The loan shark laughs from his. Kilroy is here, and he's not about to be there, if he can help it. He snatches up a rock and throws it at the street cleaners. Everybody laughs louder, and the laughter seems to reverberate from the mountains. The light changes, dims a little in the plaza. Sons of whatever you're sons of, don't look at me. I'm not about to take no ride in a barrel. The Baron, his elegant white shoes protruding from the barrel, is wheeled up the alleyway out. Figures in the square resume their dazed attitudes, and one or two guests return to the terrace of the Siete Mares as Gutman. Block 5 on the Camino Real. He strolls off. Block 5. Kilroy to Jacques. Gee, the blocks go fast on this street. Jacques. Yes, the blocks go fast. Kilroy. My name's Kilroy. I'm here. Jacques. Mine is Casanova. I'm here too. Kilroy. But you've been here longer than me and maybe could brief me on it. For instance, what do they do with a stiff picked up in this town? The guard stares at them suspiciously from the terrace. Jacques whistles La Golondrina and crosses downstage. Kilroy follows. Did I say something untactful? Jacques, smiling into a sunset glow. The exchange of serious questions and ideas, especially between persons from opposite sides of the plaza, is regarded unfavorably here. You'll notice I'm talking as if I had acute laryngitis. I'm gazing into the sunset. If I should start to whistle La Golondrina, it means we're being overheard by the guards on the terrace. Now you want to know what is done to a body from which the soul has departed on the Camino Real. Its disposition depends on what the street cleaners happen to find in its pockets. If its pockets are empty, as the unfortunate Baron's turned out to be, and as mine are at this moment, the stiff is wheeled straight off to the laboratory, and there the individual becomes an undistinguished member of the collectivist state. His chemical components are separated and poured into vats containing the corresponding elements of countless others. If any of his vital organs or parts are at all unique in size or structure, they're placed on exhibition in bottles containing a very foul-smelling solution called formaldehyde. There is a charge of admission to this museum. The proceeds go to the maintenance of the military police. He whistles La Golondrina till the guard turns his back again. He moves to the front of the stage. Kilroy following. I guess that's sensible. Jacques. Yes, but not romantic. And romance is important, don't you think? Kilroy. Nobody thinks romance is more important than me. Jacques. Except possibly me. Kilroy. Maybe that's why fate has brought us together. We're buddies under the skin. Jacques. Travelers born? Kilroy. Always looking for something. Jacques. Satisfied by nothing. Kilroy. Hopeful? Jacques. Always. Officer. Keep moving. They move apart till the officer exits. Kilroy. And when a joker on the Camino gets fed up with one continual hassle, how does he get off it? Jacques. You see the narrow and very steep stairway that passes under what is described in the travel brochures as a magnificent arch of triumph? Well, that's the way out. Kilroy. That's the way out? Kilroy, without hesitation, plunges right up to almost the top step, then pauses with the sound of squealing brakes. There is a sudden loud wind. Jacques, shouting with hand cupped to mouth. Well, how does the prospect please you, traveler born? Kilroy, shouting back in a tone of awe. It's too unknown for my blood. Man, I seen nothing like it except through a telescope once on the pier of Coney Island. 10 cents to see the craters and plains of the moon. And here's the same view in 3 dimensions for nothing. The desert wind sings loudly. Kilroy mocks it. Jacques. Are you ready to cross it? Kilroy. Maybe sometime with someone, but not right now, and alone. How about you? Jacques. I'm not alone. Kilroy. You're with a party? Jacques. No, but I'm sweetly encumbered with a lady. Kilroy. It wouldn't do with a lady. I don't see nothing but nothing, and then more nothing. And then I see some mountains, but the mountains are covered with snow. Jacques. Snowshoes would be useful. He observes Gutman approaching through the passage at upper left. He whistles La Galantrina for Kilroy's attention and points with his cane as he exits. Kilroy, descending steps disconsolately. Mush, mush. The bum comes to his window. A-Rat enters his doorway. Gutman enters below Kilroy. Bum. It's sleepy time down south. Gutman, warningly as Kilroy passes him. Block 6 in a progress of 16 blocks on the Camino Real. Block 6. Kilroy from the stairs. Man, I could use a bed now. I'd like to make me a cool pad on this Camino now and lie down and sleep and dream of being with someone. Friendly. He crosses to the Ritz men only. A-Rat, softly and sleepily. Vacancy here. I got a single bed at the Ritz men only, a little white ship to sail the dangerous nights in. Kilroy crosses down to his doorway. Kilroy. You got a vacancy here? A-Rat. I got a vacancy here if you got the 150 there. Kilroy. Ha ha. I've been in countries where money was not legal tender. I mean, it was legal, but it wasn't tender. There was a loud groan from offstage above. Somebody dying on you or just drunk? A-Rat. Who knows or cares in this pad, Dad? Kilroy. I heard once that a man can't die while he's drunk. Is that a fact or a fiction? A-Rat. Strictly a fiction. Voice above. Stiff in number 7. Call the street cleaners. A-Rat, with absolutely no change in face or voice. Number 7 is vacant. Street cleaners is piping is heard. The bum leaves the window. Kilroy. Thanks, but tonight I'm going to sleep under the stars. A-Rat gestures, have it your way, and exits. Kilroy, left alone, starts downstage. He notices that La Madrecita is crouched near the fountain, holding something up inconspicuously in her hand. Coming to her, he sees that it's a piece of food. He takes it, puts it in his mouth, tries to thank her, but her head is down, muffled in her rebozo, and there is no way for him to acknowledge the gift. He starts to cross. Street people raise up their heads in their pit and motion him invitingly to come in with them. They call softly, "Sleep, sleep." Gutman from his chair on the terrace. "Hey, Joe." Street people duck immediately. Kilroy. "Who, me?" Gutman. "Yes, you, Candyman. Are you disoccupado?" Kilroy. "That means unemployed, don't it?" He sees officers converging from right. Gutman. "Jobless. On the bum. Carrying the banner." Kilroy. Oh no, don't try to hang no vagrancy rap on me. I was robbed on the square and I got plenty of witnesses to prove it. Gutman, with ironic courtesy. Oh? He makes a gesture asking, where? Kilroy coming down to the apron left and crossing to the right. Witnesses! Witnesses! He comes to La Madrecita. You were a witness. A gesture indicates that he realizes her blindness. Opposite the gypsy's balcony, he pauses for a second. Hey, Gypsy's daughter. The balcony is dark. He continues up to the pit. The street people duck as he calls down. You were witnesses. An officer enters with a patsy outfit. He hands it to Gutman. Gutman. Here, boy, take these. Gutman displays and then tosses on the ground at Kilroy's feet the patsy outfit. The red fright wig, crimson nose that lights up and has horn-rimmed glasses attached. A pair of clown pants that have a huge footprint on the seat. Kilroy. What is this outfit? Gutman. The uniform of a patsy? Kilroy. I know what a patsy is. He's a clown in the circus who takes pratfalls, but I'm no patsy. Gutman. Pick it up. Kilroy. Don't give me orders. Kilroy is a free agent. Gutman, smoothly. But a patsy isn't. Pick it up and put it on, Candyman. You are now the patsy. Kilroy. So you say, but you are completely mistaken. 4 officers press in on him. And don't crowd me with your torpedoes. I'm a stranger here, but I got a clean record in all the places I've been. I'm not in the books for nothing but vagrancy, and once when I was hungry, I walked by a truckload of pineapples without picking one, because I was brought up good. Then, with a pathetic attempt at making friends with the officer to his right, and there was a cop on the corner. Officer. Pongaselo? Kilroy. What'd you say? Desperately to audience, he asks, what did he say? Officer. Pongaselo. Kilroy. What did you say? The officer shoves him down roughly to the patsy outfit. Kilroy picks up the pants, shakes them out carefully as if about to step into them, and says very politely, Why, surely, I'd be delighted. My fondest dreams have come true. Suddenly, he tosses the patsy dress into Gutman's face and leaps into the aisle of the theater. Gutman. Stop him. Arrest that vagrant. Don't let him get away. Loudspeaker. Be on the lookout for a fugitive patsy. The patsy has escaped. Stop him. Stop that patsy. A wild chase commences. The 2 guards rush madly down either side to intercept him at the back of the house. Kilroy wheels about at the top of the center aisle and runs back down it, panting, gasping out questions and entreaties to various persons occupying aisle seats, such as Kilroy. How do I get out? Which way do I go? Which way do I get out? Where's the Greyhound depot? Hey, do you know where the Greyhound bus depot is? What's the best way out? If there is any way out, I gotta find one. I've had enough of this place. I had too much of this place. I'm free. I'm a free man with equal rights in this world. You better believe it, because that's news for you, and you had better believe it. Kilroy's a free man with equal rights in this world. All right, now help me. Somebody, help me find a way out. I gotta find one. I don't like this place. It's not for me, and I'm not buying any. Oh, over there. I see a sign that says exit. That's a sweet word to me, man. That's a lovely word. Exit. That's the entrance to paradise for Kilroy. Exit, I'm coming. Exit, I'm coming. The street people have gathered along the forestage to watch the chase. Esmeralda, barefooted, wearing only a slip, bursts out of the gypsy's establishment like an animal broken out of a cage, darts among the street people to the front of the crowd, which is shouting like the spectators at the climax of a corrida. Behind her, Nursey appears, a male actor wigged and dressed austerely as a duenna, crying out in both languages. Nursey, Esmeralda, Esmeralda. Gypsy, police. Nursey, come back here, Esmeralda. Gypsy, catch her, idiot. Nursey, where's my ladybird? Where's my precious treasure? Gypsy, idiot, I told you to keep her door locked. Nursey, she jimmied the lock, Esmeralda. These shouts are mostly lost in the general rhubarb of the chase and the shouting street people. Esmeralda crouches on the forestage, screaming encouragement in Spanish to the fugitive. Abdullah catches sight of her, seizes her wrist, shouting, Abdullah, here she is, I got her. Esmeralda fights savagely. She nearly breaks loose, but Nursey and the gypsy close upon her too, and she is overwhelmed and dragged back, fighting all the way toward the door from which she escaped. Meanwhile, timed with the above action, shots are fired in the air by Kilroy's pursuers. He dashes, panting, into the boxes of the theater, darting from one box to another, shouting incoherently now, sobbing for breath, crying out. Kilroy, Mary, help a Christian. Help a Christian, Mary. Esmeralda, Yankee, Yankee, jump. The officers close upon him in the box nearest the stage. A dazzling spot of light is thrown on him. He lifts the little gilded chair to defend himself. The chair is torn from his grasp. He leaps upon the ledge of the box. Jump! Jump, Yankee! The gypsy is dragging the girl back by her hair. Kilroy, watch out down there. Geronimo! He leaps onto the stage and crumples up with a twisted ankle. Esmeralda screams demonically, breaks from her mother's grasp, and rushes to him, fighting off his pursuers who have leapt after him from the box. Abdullah, Nursey, and the gypsy seize her again, just as Kilroy is seized by his pursuers. The officers beat him to his knees. Each time he is struck, Esmeralda screams as if she received the blow herself. As his cries subside into sobbing, so do hers. And at the end, when he is helpless, she is also overcome by her captors. And as they drag her back to the gypsies, she cries to him, Esmeralda, they've got you. They've got me. Her mother slaps her fiercely. Caught! Caught! We're caught! She is dragged inside. The door is slammed shut on her continuing outcries. For a moment, nothing is heard but Kilroy's hoarse panting and sobbing. Gutman takes command of the situation, thrusting his way through the crowd to face Kilroy, who is pinioned by two guards. Gutman, smiling serenely. Well, well, how do you do? I understand that you're seeking employment here. We need a patsy, and the job is yours for the asking. Kilroy, I don't accept this job. I've been shanghaied. Kilroy dons patsy outfit. Gutman, hush. The patsy don't talk. He lights his nose, that's all. Guard, press the little button at the end of the cord. Gutman, that's right. Just press the little button at the end of the cord. Kilroy lights his nose. Everybody laughs. Gutman, again, haha. Again, again. The nose goes off and on like a firefly as the stage dims out. The curtain falls. There is a short intermission. Block 7. The dreamer is singing with mandolin, Noche de Grande. The guests murmur, cool, cool. Gutman stands on the podium-like elevation downstage right, smoking a long, thin cigar, signing an occasional tab from the bar or cafe. He is standing in another amber spot. The rest of the stage is filled with blue dusk. At the signal, the song fades to a whisper and Gutman speaks. Gutman, Block 7 on the Camino Real. I like this hour. He gives the audience a tender gold-toothed smile. The fire's gone out of the day, but the light of it lingers. In Rome, the continual fountains are bathing stone heroes with silver. In Copenhagen, the Tivoli gardens are lighted. They're selling the lottery on San Juan de Latrine. The dreamer advances a little, playing the mandolin softly. La Madrecita, holding up glass beads and shell necklaces. Recuerdos? Gutman. And these are the moments when we look into ourselves and ask with a wonder which never is lost altogether. Can this be all? Is there nothing more? Is this what the glittering wheels of the heavens turn for? He leans forward as if conveying a secret. Ask the gypsy. Un poco de dinero will tickle the gypsy's palm and give her visions. Abdullah emerges with a silver tray, calling. Abdullah. Letter for Senora Casanova. Letter for Senora Casanova. Jacques springs up but stands rigid. Gutman. Casanova, you have received a letter. Perhaps it's a letter with a remittance check in it. Jacques, in a hoarse, exalted voice. Yes, it is. The letter, with a remittance check in it. Gutman. Then why don't you take it so you can maintain your residence at the Siete Mares and so avoid the more somber attractions of the rich men only? Jacques. My hand is... Gutman. Your hand is paralyzed. By what? Anxiety? Apprehension? Put the letter in Senor Casanova's pocket so he can open it when he recovers the use of his digital extremities. Then give him a shot of brandy on the house before he falls on his face. Jacques has stepped down into the plaza. He looks down at Kilroy, crouched to the right of him and wildly blinking his nose. Jacques. Yes, I know the Morse code. Kilroy's nose again blinks on and off. Thank you, brother. This is said as if acknowledging a message. I knew without asking the gypsy that something of this sort would happen to you. You have a spark of anarchy in your spirit, and that's not to be tolerated. Nothing wild or honest is tolerated here. It has to be extinguished, or used only to light up your nose for Mr. Gutman's amusement. Jacques saunters around Kilroy whistling La Golondrina, and satisfied that no one is suspicious of this encounter. Before the final block, we'll find some way out of here. Meanwhile, patience and courage, little brother. Jacques, feeling he's been there too long, starts away, giving Kilroy a reassuring pat on the shoulder and saying, Patience! Courage! Lady Mulligan, from the Mulligans' table. Mr. Gutman. Gutman. Lady Mulligan. And how are you this evening, Lord Mulligan? Lord Mulligan. Lady Mulligan, interrupting Lord Mulligan's rumbling. He's not at all well. This climate is so enervating. Lord Mulligan. I was so weak this morning I couldn't screw the lid on my toothpaste. Lady Mulligan. Raymond, tell Mr. Gutman about those two impertinent workmen in the square. These two idiots pushing a white barrel pop up every time we step outside the hotel. Lord Mulligan. Point and giggle at me. Lady Mulligan. Can't they be discharged? Gutman. They can't be discharged, disciplined, nor bribed. All you can do is pretend to ignore them. Lady Mulligan. I can't eat. Raymond, stop stuffing. Lord Mulligan. Shut up. Gutman to the audience. When the big wheels crack on this street, it's like the fall of a capital city, the destruction of Carthage, the sack of Rome by the white-eyed giants from the north. I've seen them fall. I've seen the destruction of them. Adventurers suddenly frightened of a dark room. Gamblers unable to choose between odd and even. Con men and pitchmen and plume-headed cavaliers turned baby soft at one note of the street cleaners' pipes. When I observe this change, I say to myself, could it happen to me? The answer is yes. And that's what curdles my blood like milk on the doorstep of someone gone for the summer. A hunchback mummer somersaults through his hoop of silver bells, springs up and shakes it excitedly toward a downstage arch which begins to flicker with a diamond blue radiance. This marks the advent of each legendary character in the play. The music follows. A waltz from the time of Camille in Paris. Gutman, downstage to the audience. Ah, there's the music of another legend, one that everyone knows. The legend of the sentimental whore, the courtesan who made the mistake of love. But now you see her coming into this plaza not as she was when she burned with a fever that cast a thin light over Paris, but changed. Yes, faded as lanterns and legends fade when they burn into day. He turns and shouts, "Rosita, sell her a flower." Marguerite has entered the plaza, a beautiful woman of indefinite age. The street people cluster about her with wheedling cries, holding up glass beads, shell necklaces, and so forth. She seems confused, lost, half awake. Jacques has sprung up at her entrance, but has difficulty making his way through the cluster of vendors. Rosita has snatched up a tray of flowers and cries out. Rosita. Camellias? Camellias? Pink or white, whichever a lady finds suitable to the moon. Gutman. That's the ticket. Marguerite. Yes, I would like a camellia. Rosita, in a bad French accent. Rouge au blanc, ce soir? Marguerite. It's always a white one. Now, but there used to be 5 evenings out of the month when a pink camellia, instead of a usual white one, let my admirers know that the moon those nights was unfavorable to pleasure. And so they called me Camille. Jacques, mia cara. Imperiously, very proud to be with her, he pushes the street people aside with his cane. Out of the way. Make way. Let us through, please. Marguerite. Don't push them with your cane. Jacques. If they get close enough, they'll snatch your purse. Marguerite utters a low, shocked cry. What is it? Marguerite. My purse is gone. It's lost. My papers were in it. Jacques. Your passport was in it? Marguerite. My passport and my permiso de residencia? She leans faint against the arch during the following scene. Abdullah turns to run. Jacques catches him. Jacques, seizing Abdullah's wrist. Where did you take her? Abdullah. Ow! Petit Zolko. Jacques. The souks? Abdullah. The souks. Jacques. Which cafes did she go to? Abdullah. Ahmed's. She went to... Jacques. Did she smoke at Ahmed's? Abdullah. 2 keef pipes. Jacques. Who was it took her purse? Was it you? We'll see. He strips off the boy's burnous. He crouches whimpering, shivering in a ragged slip. Marguerite. Jacques, let the boy go. He didn't take it. Jacques. He doesn't have it on him, but knows who does. Abdullah. No, I don't know. Jacques. You little son of a gypsy. Senta. You know who I am? I am Jacques Casanova. I belong to the secret order of the Rose-Colored Cross. Run back to Ahmed's. Contact this bib that took the lady's purse. Tell him to keep it, but give back her papers. There'll be a large reward. He thumps his cane on the ground to release Abdullah from the spell. The boy dashes off. Jacques laughs and turns triumphantly to Marguerite. Lady Mulligan. Waiter. The adventurer and his mistress must not be seated next to Lord Mulligan's table. Jacques, loudly enough for the Lady Mulligan to hear. This hotel has become a mecca for black marketeers and their expensively kept women. Lady Mulligan. Mr. Gutman. Marguerite. Let's have dinner upstairs. Waiter, directing them to the terrace table. This way, monsieur. Jacques. We'll take our usual table. He indicates one. Marguerite. Please. Waiter, overlapping Marguerite's. Please. This table is reserved for Lord Byron. Jacques, masterfully. This table is always our table. Marguerite. I'm not hungry. Jacques. Hold out the lady's chair, cretino. Gutman, darting over to Marguerite's chair. Permit me. Jacques bows with mock gallantry to Lady Mulligan as he turns to his chair during seating of Marguerite. Lady Mulligan. We'll move to that table. Jacques. You must learn how to carry the banner of Bohemia into the enemy camp. A screen is put up around them. Marguerite. Bohemia has no banner. It survives by discretion. Jacques. I'm glad that you value discretion. Wine list. Was it discretion that led you through the bazaars this afternoon wearing your cabochon sapphire and diamond eardrops? You were fortunate that you lost only your purse and papers. Marguerite. Take the wine list. Jacques. Still or sparkling? Marguerite. Sparkling? Gutman. May I make a suggestion, Signor Casanova? Jacques. Please do. Gutman. It's a very cold and dry wine from only 10 meters below the snow line in the mountains. The name of the wine is Cuando, meaning when, such as when are remittances going to be received? When are accounts to be settled? Ha 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 ha. Bring Senor Casanova a bottle of Cuando with the compliments of the house. Jacques. I'm sorry this had to happen in your presence. Marguerite. That doesn't matter, my dear. But why don't you tell me when you are short of money? Jacques. I thought the fact was apparent. It is to everyone else. Marguerite. The letter you were expecting. It still hasn't come? Jacques. Removing it from his pocket. It came this afternoon. Here it is. Marguerite. You haven't opened the letter. Jacques. I haven't had the nerve to. I've had so many unpleasant surprises that I've lost faith in my luck. Marguerite. Give the letter to me. Let me open it for you. Jacques. Later. A little bit later. After the wine. Marguerite. Old hawk. Anxious old hawk. She clasps his hand on the table. He leans toward her. She kisses her fingertips and places them on his lips. Jacques. Do you call that a kiss? Marguerite. I call it the ghost of a kiss. It will have to do for now. She leans back, her blue-tinted eyelids closed. Jacques. Are you tired? Are you tired, Marguerite? You know you should have rested this afternoon. Marguerite. I looked at silver and rested. Jacques. You looked at silver at Ahmed's? Marguerite. No, I rested at Ahmed's and had mint tea. The dreamer accompanies their speech with his guitar. The duologue should have the style of an antiphonal poem. The cues picked up so that there is scarcely a separation between the speeches, and the tempo quick and the voices edged. Jacques. You had mint tea downstairs? Marguerite. No, upstairs. Jacques. Upstairs where they burn the poppy? Marguerite. Upstairs where it's cool and there's music and the haggling of the bazaar is soft as the murmur of pigeons. Jacques. That sounds restful. Reclining among silk pillows on a divan in a curtained and perfumed alcove above the bazaar? Marguerite. Forgetting for a while where I am, or that I don't know where I am. Jacques. Forgetting alone? Or forgetting with some young companion who plays the lute or the flute, or who had silver to show you? Yes, that sounds very restful. And yet you do seem tired. Marguerite. If I seem tired, it's your insulting solicitude that I'm tired of. Jacques. Is it insulting to feel concern for your safety in this place? Marguerite. Yes, it is. The implication is. Jacques. What is the implication? Marguerite. You know what it is. That I am one of those aging voluptuaries who used to be paid for pleasure but now have to pay. Jacques, I won't be followed. I've gone too far to be followed. What is it? The waiter has presented an envelope on the salver. Waiter. A letter for the lady. Marguerite. How strange to receive a letter in a place where nobody knows what I'm saying. Where nobody knows I'm staying. Will you open it for me? The waiter withdraws. Jacques takes the letter and opens it. Well, what is it? Jacques. Nothing important. An illustrated brochure from some resort in the mountains. Marguerite. What is it called? Jacques. Bide a while. A chafing dish bursts into startling blue flame at the Mulligans' table. Lady Mulligan clasps her hands and exclaims with affected delight. The waiter and Mr. Gutman laugh agreeably. Marguerite springs up and moves out upon the forestage. Jacques goes to her. Do you know this resort in the mountains? Marguerite. Yes, I stayed there once. It's one of those places with open sleeping verandas surrounded by snowy pine woods. It has rows and rows of narrow white iron beds as regular as tombstones. The invalids smile at each other when axes flash across valleys. Ring, flash, ring again. Young voices shout across valleys, Hola! And mail is delivered. The friend that used to write you 10-page letters contents himself now with a postcard bluebird that tells you to get well quick. Jacques throws the brochure away. When the last bleeding comes, not much later, not earlier than expected, you're wheeled discreetly into a little tent of white gauze. And the last thing you know of this world, of which you've known so little and yet so much, is the smell of an empty icebox. The blue flame expires into the chafing dish. Gutman picks up the brochure and hands it to the waiter, whispering something. Jacques, you won't go back to that place. The waiter places the brochure on the salver again and approaches behind them. Marguerite, I wasn't released. I left without permission. They sent this to remind me. Waiter presenting the salver. You dropped this. Jacques, we threw it away. Waiter, excuse me. Jacques. Now, from now on, Marguerite, you must take better care of yourself. Do you hear me? Marguerite. I hear you. No more distractions for me. No more entertainers in curtained and perfumed alcoves above the bazaar. No more young men that a pinch of white powder or a puff of gray smoke can almost turn to someone devoutly remembered. Jacques. No, from now on. Marguerite. What from now on, old hawk? Jacques. Rest. Peace. Marguerite. Rest and peace is that final bit of advice they carve on gravestones, and I'm not ready for it. Are you? Are you ready for it? She returns to the table. He follows her. Oh, Jacques, when are we going to leave here? How are we going to leave here? You got to tell me. Jacques. I've told you all I know. Marguerite. Nothing. You've given up hope. Jacques. I haven't. That's not true. Gutman has brought out the white cockatoo, which he shows to Lady Mulligan at her table. Gutman, his voice rising above the murmurs. Her name is Aurora. Lady Mulligan. Why do you call her Aurora? Gutman. She cries at daybreak. Lady Mulligan. Only at daybreak? Gutman. Yes, at daybreak only. Their voices and laughter fade under. Marguerite. How long is it since you've been to the travel agencies? Jacques. This morning I made the usual round of Cook's, American Express, Wagonlitz Universal, and it was the same story. There are no flights out of here till further orders from someone higher up. Marguerite. Nothing? Nothing at all? Jacques. Oh, there's a rumor of something called the Fugitivo, but... Marguerite. The what? Jacques. The Fugitivo. It's one of those non-scheduled things that... Marguerite. When? Jacques. I told you. It was on non-scheduled. Non-scheduled means it comes and goes at no predictable... Marguerite. Don't give me the dictionary. I want to know, how does one get on it? Did you bribe them? Did you offer them money? No, of course you didn't. And I know why. You really don't want to leave here. You think you don't want to go because you're brave as an old hawk. But the truth of the matter, the real, not the royal truth, is that you're terrified of the terra incognita outside that wall. Jacques, you've hit upon the truth. I'm terrified of the unknown country inside or outside this wall or any place on earth without you with me. The only country, known or unknown, that I can breathe in or care to is the country in which we breathe together, as we are now at this table. And later, a little while later, even closer than this, the sole inhabitants of a tiny world whose limits are those of the light from a rose-colored lamp, beside the sweetly, completely known country of your cool bed. Marguerite. The little comfort of love? Jacques. Is that comfort so little? Marguerite. Caged birds accept each other, but flight is what they long for. Jacques. I want to stay here with you, and love you, and guard you until the time or way comes that we both can leave with honor. Marguerite. Leave with honor? Your vocabulary is almost as out of date as your cape and your cane. How could anyone quit this field with honor? This place where there's nothing but the gradual wasting away of everything decent in us. The sort of desperation that comes after even desperation has been worn out through long wear. Why have they put these screens around the table? She springs up and knocks one of them over. Lady Mulligan. There! You see? I don't understand why you let such people stay here. Gutman. They pay the price of admission the same as you. Lady Mulligan. What price is that? Gutman. Desperation. With cash here. He indicates the Siete Mares. Without cash there. He indicates Skid Row. Block 8 on the Camino Real.